Joe, it's hard to go back in time a little bit after a long day in the field, but can you tell us how much that century last night meant to you?
I think I'd be more equipped to tell you at the end of the game, really. But certainly to be involved in a couple of really strong partnerships and get us in a position at the back end of the day where we could, felt I had a really strong day of cricket yesterday, and especially to have that momentum towards the end to play second fiddle to Jofra, watch him do his thing was great fun. So, and clearly Zach played exceptionally well. We all know how good a player he is and how well he's suited to these conditions, and I think he proved that brilliantly yesterday. And another, a couple of other really important knocks within there as well. But it's, all you're trying to do out there is trying to build those partnerships which the longer you back together, the harder it is to break you down as a pair, and you're trying to wrestle that momentum in your favour. And I think we did that well for periods yesterday, at different phases of the game. So yeah, it was good fun.
I know you've got lots to think about in the game situation, lots to process also, but do you realise just how much your century meant to other people? Those people back home in England is what they really wanted for you. There's people in the crowd. You have other considerations, but a lot of people were just really pleased for you.
No, well, that's lovely to hear. That is really nice to hear. I'm very grateful for that support. But this, I've said a few times, this tour is not about me. It's not about me scoring 100 in Australia. It's about us trying to win the Ashes, and my job is to score as many runs as I can. And as a senior batter within that team, I expect that of myself, and I'll go out there with the same attitude every single time. I felt like over the last couple of years, I've got a really good understanding of how I want to approach different conditions and an understanding of my own game and how I'm going to apply myself against different attacks. And thankfully, I got a little bit of luck very early on yesterday. And like I said, I worked with the guys at the other end at different times to, I think that's so important. You use the guy at the other end, use each other's skills and strengths to make it difficult for bowlers and attacks to bowl each other. So yeah, it's great. As I said, it was lovely to hear that the amount of support that was out there. As I say, I'm very grateful for that, but I guess I'll be able to reflect on it at the end of this game better.
Obviously, we know it means more in a winning cause.
Of course it does.
After events of the day, how far are you away? Are you'd be behind the game a wee bit? How far behind the game are you, do you think?
I think the most important thing is how we approach tomorrow. I thought the way that clearly we didn't get it right to start with, but I think the way that we responded, especially towards the back end of the day, getting that cluster of wickets and then Stokesy backing that up, the wheels could have come off and then other times, and probably on a tour where I was captain, they would have. So look, I think the most important thing is that we turn up tomorrow with a really good attitude and understanding of how we're going to finish the innings off, and we know our best cricket, and when we execute well, we're going to be a very difficult side to play against. So it's turning up with the right manner tomorrow, and understanding that our best is going to be more than capable to get us back onto a position where we're massively, well, I don't think we're massively out of the game at all. I think we're actually not too far behind it as long as we get things right early tomorrow.
We'll go Will, Mel, Stefan, and then gentlemen there, and then two more after that.
Joe, can I just one more 100 question? Can I just ask about your celebration, what that was?
I don't really know, to be honest. I think I didn't really know what to do, and that's sort of what you do, isn't it, when you don't really know what to do. So yeah, unfortunately there's no cool story behind it. That's just one of those weird things.
And just quickly, a few catches went down under the lights tonight. Jake Webber's just been in here, he said quite difficult to pick the ball up at night. Was that what you guys experienced? And you don't play massive pink ball cricket, so do you think that might be a consequence of that?
Well, it's certainly different to what you normally. It's definitely different to a white ball under lights. Obviously, we get a huge amount of exposure to that, T20 cricket and ODI cricket and domestic cricket, but it is different. We worked as hard as we could in the lead up to things. We had 5 days of prep, and we did a huge amount of catching and making sure that the 2 days that we had under lights, we utilised that well. And sometimes they just don't stick, and you just got to keep applying yourself, keep being ready and wanting the ball, and when that next opportunity comes, you're ready for it. And that's one of the nuances of this format of the game and this pink ball test match. So, like I say, it's disappointing when it doesn't go in your way, but the most important thing is you look forward and how can we affect the game tomorrow when we get those chances in the field or with ball in hand. Can we wrap things up quickly? Can we deliver what we know as our best, and then can we hammer that home when we get the chance to bat?
Mel, go ahead, please.
Joe, obviously, as you say, you've got a bit of work to do before England bat again, but I guess can you talk about how you found and rode the rhythm of this pink ball test and the time to absorb and then the time to do other things? Because that seemed to be, at times, England in that first innings got, there were wickets at perhaps the worst possible time, and can the team sort of perhaps learn from something that you did as well in riding that rhythm? How hard was it to find?
I think my rhythm, sometimes it comes from the guys at the other end, and I don't think they get the credit that they deserve, to be honest. I think sometimes the way that they play allows me to play how I play. And that's why I say partnerships are so important in cricket and in batting. And I wish it was such a simple explanation and answer to give back, but it isn't. I think at the start of my innings yesterday, the way that Zach played made my life a huge amount easier, and I don't think he'll get the credit that he deserves in that partnership and getting us to where we got to. And similarly towards the back end, the way that Jofra came out and played, and I tried to hit one over deep mid wicket and I got every single bit of it, and it was a 2 bounce 4. So making him take the strike against Boland and him launching him 10 rows back was the smart play. So without that and without using the guy at the other end, it's not always that simple. The way that Harry comes out and plays and puts pressure on bowlers, it makes it difficult for them to hold length against me. So I think you're always trying to use each other. You're trying to complement each other's skill set, and I don't think it's as straightforward as just saying that was a good shot, that was a bad shot. You're trying to do things to always keep things in your favour and make life easier for you further down the line or for your partner at the other end.
One each going forward, so we've got Stefan, gentleman next year, and we'll finish with Ollie.
Joe, you've been around long enough to know that when catches go down, there'll be more debates about preparation and all those sorts of things. You quite rightly point out that you've had your 5 training sessions and you've done it under lights. But how difficult is it to replicate the match conditions? Because in a training session, the catches come in, you haven't been on your feet all day chasing leather. How difficult is that?
I mean, you could look at it like that, but I also think that you can't replicate that surface and the bounce and the way the nicks come. So it's never going to be exactly the same. You're never going to be able to get it perfect. All you can do is give yourself the best possible chance, and I think that we've done that. In the lead up to this game, we've got used to the conditions, we've got used to the heat, we've got used to the surfaces. The nets were at 3 mil, the same as the wicket. We faced our own bowlers. We've caught under lights, we've caught in the daylight. We tried to catch in twilight as well, and sometimes they don't stick. And you're always looking for answers. And unfortunately, we're not perfect. We're all human, and we're going to make mistakes. It's how we respond, and that's all that we can do. All we control is how we turn up tomorrow and how we apply ourselves, and how we can, do everything we can to get ahead of the game by close tomorrow. And it starts with that first ball. So it's just making sure we turn up with the right frame of mind, right attitude, and like I say, knowing that our best cricket is more than good enough to do very special things out here in these conditions.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Joe, we're seeing Australia score more than 5 and over today, which is an approach we're more used to seeing from you guys. Do you think they've perhaps seen some benefits from the aggressive approach that you guys have taken?
I've not really thought about it, to be honest. I don't think we quite got things right at times today, and I think they played some good stuff as well. So you marry that together, and you probably get an answer somewhere in between. But like I say, the focus for us is tomorrow turning up and getting things, or controlling what we can in the morning and starting off well.
Last one, Ollie, please, at the back.
Joe, hi. You've already partly answered this, actually, to be honest, but amidst all the kind of adulation for your achievement yesterday, there was the kind of corollary to that was that there was some impatience, I think, with the way some of your teammates lost their wickets. Do you think that in order for us to win this game, the rest of the top order have to give you more support?
I think the rest of the top order have to trust their ability to read the situation and play how they see fit, and I think that they're very good at doing that time and time again. That's why we've had the success that we have, and why that they've had the success that they've had individually. But it's not as straightforward as that. It's not as black and white as that. It's about working together and using each other's skill sets. So I know I trust every single one of them. I know they're going out there, they're giving absolutely everything they can to try and get the highest output as often as possible by trusting their games and trusting their decision making out there in these conditions. And they're all more than capable of winning matches for England, and they've got another opportunity ahead of them in the next couple of days to go and do that. And I think that should be an exciting thing. We shouldn't be looking at what's happened before. That's where it is. Of course, you're always looking to learn lessons. If there's little things that you can pick up, then fine. But what an exciting prospect to go and win a pink ball Test match here in Brisbane, where we've not done it for a long time. So let's look at that carrot as something that we all want to go out there and achieve.